All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving deep into Tata Motors Commercial Vehicle division. They just had a really impressive third quarter, so let's get into what's driving all this momentum.
Okay, let's just kick things off with one single number, because honestly, it tells you so much of the story. 17%. Yeah, that's a big one, and it really sets the stage for everything we're about to talk about.
So what is that 17%? Well, it's their year-over-year revenue growth. We're talking a huge jump to over 21,500 crores. So the big questions are, how on earth did they pull that off? And what does it really say about how healthy the business is right now? Okay, first up, let's look at the headline story here, a really strong financial quarter. We'll break down the big numbers that made it all happen. So when you look at these numbers side by side, it's just wow. You see this clear, positive trend pretty much everywhere. Revenue, like we said, is up 17%. Profit before tax, that shot up by 600 crores. And look at this. They're sitting on a net cash position of 3,900 crores. This is the key takeaway, right? It's not just growth for the sake of growth. This is solid, healthy, profitable growth.
But the real star of the show here might just be this number right here, a massive 4,800 crores in free cash flow, just for the quarter. Now, free cash flow, that's the hard cash the business has left over after paying all its bills and expenses. It's a huge signal of just how efficient and profitable they are. And having that kind of cash on hand, it gives them incredible flexibility to invest in the future.
So, okay, the financial report looks fantastic. But what's actually happening on the ground to make these numbers possible? Let's dig into what's really driving all this growth. So, how they do it? Well, it really all boils down to one simple thing. They sold a lot more vehicles. Wholesale volumes jumped a whopping 20% compared to last year. And you can see it right here in the chart. Every single major segment is up. Heavy and medium commercial vehicles in particular were just on fire, really leading the charge.
Now, this didn't just happen in a vacuum. It wasn't just luck. There were some serious tailwinds from the broader Indian economy helping them out. Think about it. You've got more e-commerce, which means more stuff to deliver. You have a big boom in infrastructure projects after the monsoons, and freight rates are getting stronger. All of that together creates this perfect storm of high demand for commercial vehicles.
And here's what's absolutely crucial to understand. This isn't some one-time fluke. This quote right here says it all. This is their 10th consecutive quarter delivering a double-digit EBITDA margin. For those of you who don't know, that's a super important measure of a company's core profitability. 10 quarters in a row. That's not a hot streak. That's just a pattern of really, really high performance.
But hey, it's not just about selling more of the same old trucks, right? Let's talk about how Tata is innovating for tomorrow with their new fleet.
Get this, in what was a huge signal to the entire market, they unveiled a whole new generation of commercial vehicles. We're talking 17 new models launched in a single week. I mean, if that's not a statement of intent, I don't know what is. And just look at the variety in this new lineup. They are tackling real-world customer problems head-on. They're thinking about things like driver retention, right? So they've got new European spec cabins to improve comfort and safety. And of course, they're looking at the future, the huge shift towards electric. They've launched 5 new EV truck models to help fleet operators lower their total cost of ownership. So this isn't just a simple refresh. This is a complete top-to-bottom fleet upgrade.
Okay, but it's not all smooth sailing, right? To get the full picture, we have to talk about some of the bumps in the road and acknowledge the headwinds they're facing.
And this is where you see a smart company at work. They aren't just letting these things happen to them. They're managing these pressures proactively. So for problem number 1, rising costs for stuff like copper, they've put in a strategic 1% price increase to offset that. Problem number 2, supply chain bottlenecks. They're actively working to clear those out for their key components. It's all about action.
All right, so let's wrap this up by looking at the road ahead. How is Tata Motors planning to keep this incredible momentum going?
And this isn't just some vague hope for the future. They have a really concrete 4-step plan for the next quarter. First, they're going to push those new launches hard to boost truck sales. Second, they're starting to deliver on huge bus tender wins. We're talking almost 6,000 units. Third, they're going to ramp up production of their smaller commercial vehicles. And finally, they'll keep pushing growth in their parts and international business. It's a solid, multi-pronged attack. So when you boil it all down, their confidence really comes from 2 things: their own actions and these really positive signs in the market.
They're betting on continued economic growth and this idea that a lot of old fleets out there are due for an upgrade. They believe those factors are going to be the wind in their sails for the next few months.
And all of this, really, it brings up a much bigger question, one that's not just about Tata Motors, but about the entire Indian economy. You've got a strengthening economy, you've got this brand new fleet of modern, efficient trucks hitting the road. So the question is, are we watching the very beginning of a whole new growth cycle for India's trucking industry? It's definitely something to think about.